mad. When everywhere in the world have problem, everywhere need God. Tell them easy no man. From your love think it's bad. Full time if you big up me own, yeah. Big up me home. Me no want hear nothing but politics.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 98.9. Winnie from on your radio dial. It's Friday morning. What a beautiful time it is outside. The weather is perfect. The breeze is blowing, the sun is out in all its glory, and people are in America and they're chilling, they're wearing jackets and they're freezing, and but here in St. Kitts we're going, wow. It's such a beautiful day here in St. Kitts. In my spirits are very, 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 very good. I'm looking forward to today. You know what? We have to be grateful. There's so much in life that we have to be grateful for. Today's the day that some people wish that they were here to say, or some family members wish that they could have shared this day with a loved one, but they are not in that position. And so I say we have to be grateful for small mercies because life is great. I always say this, and I'm going to say it forever. I live the life I love, and I love the life I live, and forever will live that life because it is a pleasure. The only thing that I want to change in my life is the things that I cannot change. And that is the beautiful thing about life. Life is great. Inhale freedom and exhale peace. This morning, your host for the program of Your Views is Sandra Quilly-Atherton. And this morning I have with me a guest who has a serious effect on me. As you realize, I am almost tongue-tied because there's so much things going on in my mind. I try to process him. He is as mystical as the unicorn. He is, for me, as awesome as life, as the breath that you take. And let me tell you something. I am so glad that some people come into your life for a season, some coming for a reason, and some coming for a lifetime. And I do hope that my guest would be in my life or I would know him for the rest of my life and would have that relationship that we'd have for the rest of my life. I've been looking at this movie and I was just having a discussion with my guest, Blacklist. And when I look at the atrocities and the things that happens in real life, because they are movies, but these are real life happening, it sickens me to my stomach. As a matter of fact, it gives me anxiety sometimes, but you feel like you're addicted to this program. You want to see, because you cannot believe that humans that were created by a perfect God can become such imperfected creation. It amazes me, it eludes me. It's obvious that we are not even aware of who we are, why we are here. We can't seem to understand it because when you look at the things that humans do, it never ceases to amaze me. It frightens me, like I said, creates anxiety, but it is the reality. We are Earth's greatest problems. We are the parasite. We are running crazy and talking about COVID-19, wearing masks, sanitizing, social distancing. You know, I think Earth is saying the same thing. Oh, I wish I could wear a mask. I wish I could social distance. Get away from these humans because of the things that we do, the chaos that we cause in life, and we're always looking for somebody to blame except ourselves. That is the problems of us human beings. But like I said, there is a creator, and Earth one of these days is going to get tired of us, and just like us, we create vaccines and everything else to, curtail the spread and the impact of viruses. Earth, one of these days, is going to get rid of us because we are the greatest virus on Earth. We are a parasite, and our mindset is, and the Bible would have said it, those of you who read the Bible, God repented the day that he made man, and he said man's heart was evil from the beginning. So if he can say that, who am I to say what I would have just said? But like I said, don't take away from the fact it's a beautiful day. Every day for me, you get up and you breathe, it's a beautiful day. I have with me this morning, I was talking about Blacklist and all of the bad things that were happening in this world, but in there are always a small pocket of good people. And today I have with me a good man. People listen to his show and they think that a lot of people, you listen to some of the comments, some people are glued to the radio at 6 o'clock in the morning and would not turn off until 8. Sugar City Rock have, I suppose, their ratings has gone sky high because of the program that he has. Some people look at it for entertainment. I look at it for wisdom, and I look for guidance, and I understand everything that he goes through and what he's saying, and I appreciate the fact that he would have paid for us to have this kind of information. And the thing about us in St. Kitts and in the world, world, humans, is that when things are free, we abuse of it and we do not learn from it. But I think that when we're in tune to his program, we have to learn from it. He is our Hercules. He is our Samson in time of troubles. And David, when we have Goliaths are big problems that we have, he can be the little David with that slingshot and stone. Those of you who read your Bible would understand it. Good morning, Carlton, and welcome to Your Views.
I am very delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Sandra.
Yeah, Carlton, I've been listening to your program, and I've been, like I said, I don't listen every morning full, but I will listen. I go swimming at morning, so when I come back, you are my inspiration. You are the person who starts my day, and when I listen to you, sometimes it can be, laughter is the best medicine, and when I get that is my dose of antibiotics and anti-anxiety medicines. That's when I listen to you, I get that, because it changes the way I look at my day. My day is started with you, and it's programmed based on the information that you will bring out. It's a lot that you bring, but one of the areas that I am so proud of you. I can't say proud because pride is not something I even want to describe. It's a word that I'm trying to find that I don't think it's in the dictionary to describe who you are and what you've done, your Herculean effort that you've put out, your care that you have for humans. I mean, your genuinity, because it's that what you see. People listen to the things that you say, and I would agree with you 100%. But one of the good things I like about you is that you have not changed the way you look at humans, and you're always willing to help. You are helping a family of 4, it is, or 5?
4.
4, a family of 4 in Sandy Point. You look at the situation, touch your heart. I think it was brought to you by your best friend, Tango. I'm amazed by that relationship you and Tango have. And the fact that ordinary citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis can do that. But you know what, Carlton, what I look at, and we overlook as business people, we are who we are and where we are because of poor people. Because they come and they spend their money with us, and we benefit from them. And it's always good to give back. And I've said that. There are people who give little. And for me, those are handouts. But when somebody can take it amongst them, look within themselves and can come up with a solution of a house for somebody, I want to say to you, on behalf of every single citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And from the family on behalf of the family who's going to receive this house, I know they can't thank you enough, and I'm going to thank you for them. Because you have done something that, these are unspoken words. You have done that, and I'm grateful. Carlton, what really prompted you into doing what you're doing now?
Tango picked me up. He didn't tell me exactly what we're going to do. Let's go for a drive down to Sandy Point. And when we got in front of the high school gate, Sandy Point High School gate, he asked me to look on the other side. I said, well, you asked me to look over there. I hope you're not telling me that someone is living in that house.
Wow.
He told me yes. I said, no, Tango. Nobody could be living in that house. St. Kitts and Nevis deserve better than that. And so soon after, I learned that 4 people living in that house. So Tango say, I'm showing you that because I can't do it alone. You have a radio program, so you have a platform. If you join with me, the 2 of us can spend all of our money, build a building for them. However, because of the program, you might be able to get donation. Who tell him to say that? I said, Tango, you ready? I'm ready.
Wow.
And then right away, I told him, since you serious about helping those people, let me say this to you. They would not live in there on the 22nd of December.
Wow.
Okay, he knows I have nice luxury units. Mm-hmm. I'll put them in one, but I didn't want to discuss that to people. Mm-hmm. Tango, I'll put them in one of my units, even if the building not complete, whenever we start. So that's it. But immediately the next day, I went to the ministry and I spoke to Celia Christopher. Celia Christopher got into action immediately. I was shocked because I didn't make any appointment. I went, expected to be told, you got to come back for a meeting. No. Celia told them, send him up.
Wow.
Soon as I got there, she called the permanent secretary, Jonelle Lewis. And Jonelle say, wait, really? Take him over to my office. Let's go. So we sat down and we had a meeting quickly. They rang Ann Wigley on the phone, who knew about the lady's situation, Rhonda Williams. And so we got into a meeting. The permanent secretary kindly asked Miss Wigley to come and join the meeting. Miss Wigley said, I'm coming there shortly. Soon as Miss Wigley got there and they explained everything to her, she said, okay, let's stop the meeting. Let's call up the Deputy Prime Minister, Sean Richards, because we can't do nothing without him. You know what amazed me, Sandra? In the first minute of that telephone call, Sean Richards said these words. I'll never forget them. Once it's something to do with Tango and DuPont doing something to help the family, Tango has already alerted me to it. So do all the necessary things that it could just flow. That was it.
Wow.
Only that I wanted to hear.
Wow.
And from the time he said that, Miss Wigley said, here we go. So Mr. DuPont, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'll lay out the whole plan with me and Tango. She looked at me across the table. I said, we will spend our own money regardless of the cost. But Sandra, you know what shocked me? After getting the approval, Tango had a meeting with Waterman. And Waterman carried the first 20 plywood to the site in his truck from his pocket. I said, Tango, were you telling me it's real or just... No, he on the way with the truck already. Next day, to the site. The contractor, a young man by the name of 6 o'clock. That's the name he's known by. Sanjo, I just came from the site. When you see it, you would not believe a month after construction, in 1 month, the building is ready. Absolutely incredible. And what I like about the whole thing, Sanjo, is this. Tango realized my work is different to his work in the jewelry.
Yeah.
So he spent the time on the site.
Wow.
Twice per day, carrying down different things with his truck. I always calling him, if you have problem, let me join with my truck. He said, no, you go and make your money. Let me tell you, this tight relationship that we have, we wish that other people can get along this.
I wish.
But let me tell you something. Sandra, when I went to the site this morning, I expected the building to look good. But between Tango and Waterman, they decided to upgrade the building without me knowing. And then tell me after, well, when I went there this morning, and I saw the difference in the paneling of the house and so, versus how initially we had it planned, I said, no, God is good. Sandra, beautiful fans, everything, all the amenities, nicely tiled bathroom. Oh my God, we're going to put refrigerator, stove, just name it. People said to me, why you all doing that? They won't be able to maintain it. All Tango is saying to me, give them a chance. Tango made me feel so good.
Carlton, let me tell you something.
They deserve a chance.
Everybody, we got a chance. Let me tell you, I know what poverty is. In my time growing up, we didn't consider, we were poor. Because when you compare then and now, you grew up in an environment where everybody was basically in the same situation. People, I think young people don't understand this. And some people forget where they came from. I can never forget that because, you know, where I came from make me who I am today, humble. Because you're always humble to know the things that you had to go through. And if you can give people, we got a chance, you got a chance. I sure you are not always this rich. Or not even rich, comfortable, because we are not rich. All of us have the same privileges and all of the necessities for life, for living. That is the air that we breathe. All of us must have food to eat, the earth provided for us, and clothes that we wear, which is not really necessary, but we decide to do so. And shelter can be done under a tree. So we have all of what life wants us to have, but some of us would have us move into building bigger buildings, which are killing destroying earth, but we think that we want to be better than some people. But I know what poverty is, and I do understand what it is to be poor. I understand what hunger is. I understand that when you're hungry, you find yourself in the pasture, in the bushes, and try to find some guava or soursop or whatever food is in season, and you would eat your fill and you'll get back home. People it's not about giving a chance. All of us had that chance. All of us were given that chance. All of us would have had a situation where we were not as comfortable as we were supposed to be. So why would anybody even question about whether or not they'll be able to sustain it? But you know what my first excitement was when we were living in Nevis? When I came to St. Kitts, we came to St. Kitts to live. We were living with other people. We had to go outside and use the bathroom. One of my greatest joy was when I went into the toilet and I flushed it, and I was able to sit there on a flush toilet, and I was like, wow.
So you had not always had that?
No. Carlton, we grew up in I am not 15, I'm not 20, I'm not 40. We grew up in an era where you had to use the outside borehole. And so, but what does that make you? And there are people who are afraid to talk about it because you feel like but that is your reality. That is your reality. That is where you came from. And I'm proud. I am proud of that experience because I can now appreciate what life gives to me. And that is why these people are going to appreciate it even more. People don't understand the hardships that some people have to go through. I've always wished, I wish if I could wish upon a star that I could get enough money just to help people who are homeless, just to give them that opportunity to sleep on a bed. Just that opportunity people want. And some of us have it, and we are not. We are not grateful. And I'm so, I know what, my heart is full. I mean, I'm all feeling so teary because it's the gesture that you would have done. And then people on the outside going to look at it and say, I mean, they're not going to maintain it. It is whether or not they maintain it is just to give somebody an opportunity to see what it feels to live above the hardships that they were in. And somebody would have done that. I am so grateful. I mean, I can't tell you how. I mean, I'm going to get very teary because it is a situation. But I can't tell you how happy I am that you would find it within your heart. And it's the humility that is within you, because I suppose you would have had similar experiences and you understand what hardship is.
Yeah, Heiliger and 4th Street took me from this poverty. When I went to National Bank to get my money to purchase tools from him, he told me the first thing I had to do is go back and redeposit the money. He gave me all the tools that was necessary to do my work, and I took off. Tango gave me $12,000. Mr. Gums on Central Street gave me gold, told me anytime I wanted to come and use his machines, I was free to come. Arnaldo Bailey. I was buying a piece of land outside the airport where I construct a $3 million building. And one of the things always on my mind when I get up early to go to my prayer room is Arnaldo Bailey telling his wife, let's help him along by allowing him to pay monthly instead of taking a loan.
Wow.
These are the type of things always stay with me. And I always will have money in my possession to help a man who lower than my standard. And hoping that he will come up, even past me, I'll feel okay. But let me say this. I cannot believe this morning, 5 o'clock, Tango and I in a meeting. And I said, Tango, I'm going to the bank to get the money for you to pay the salaries today. And while I'm on radio, this morning, Tango rang me back and told me a lady from the States named Hannah Gishard, she rang him up and he'd be expected to get enough money to pay all that today.
Wow.
Today.
Wow.
So no longer I have to give him the money.
Wow.
When I see things like this, I say, well, who this Hannah is? I think I remember her when I was about 5-6 years growing up in Sandy Point. But her heart is touched too. Otherwise, she wouldn't do something like that. We all must understand that there are always going to be people who are less fortunate than we are, but we must try our utmost to assist them, because initially, when God made mankind, he wanted us to live happy and peacefully. Oh, Sanjo, we are going to find some time, Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to come and pick you up, or you come and pick me up. Let's go down to the site. I don't want you to wait till next Sunday. Mm-hmm. Let's go down to the site. If the contractor is not there, I'll go where he's living, just two minutes away. Get the keys. Open that building and show you. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. Yesterday, a lady was driving to the site because she heard my program, and she wanted to see the site. And while driving going up, as I say, when you swing up Farms Road, drive a minute and a half, no one must tell you where the building is.
Wow.
You will know. That's the beauty. Just drive up Farms Road, a minute and a half, and the lady ran off the road. She was concentrating on the beauty of the building.
Wow.
She ran off the road. It's a good thing it was an open slot, and people started laughing, but it wasn't a joke. And 2 people with money has already engaged the contractor to build a house once he's finished there. That's how clean this young man could work. Sandra, all the tools a contractor could ask for, he has. As young as he is, he's just 30-odd years.
Wow.
And when Tango told me about this young man, I said, Tango, we have to get 2 sets of contractors to come together with the firms and construct this building. We must get it done in a month. He said, no, relax. There's a guy in Sunny Point named 6 o'clock. He will do it and do it so good, Licky, you won't believe, because I've never seen the young man work. But when I went there and I saw some guys out at, I think it's St. Paul's, the panel guys, Kareem Bratcher and Vance Roy doing the panel work on the inside, out of this world. I said, what? A gentleman from Newtown, M&M Electrical, offered their service free.
Wow.
To do all the electrical work. You know what Tango said to me in a meeting 2 nights ago? Licky, the work with the electrician is so good. We need to come together. I believe we need to give them something.
Wow.
I said, just give me the word. That is the appreciation and the value of that M&M electrician from Newtown. I don't know them. Perhaps I know them, but not now. Unbelievable. If you see the work, clean as a whistle. Normally when people doing free work, they just do.
That's what I'm hearing. You
not
know, normally,
this.
Oh wow.
Sandra, we must make an hour and 20 minutes because 20 minutes to Sandy Point. You look around for next 20, and
that's the least. That's
yeah.
the least. That hour and 20 minutes is not even anything out of my time.
But the most important thing I want you to do to me, when I saw the behavior of the family coming together with me Monday gone, they need a lot of help. When I saw the behavior of the young 6-year-old, when I saw the young lady who is pregnant, and the way she dressed coming into town in a little piece of pant, I say, okay, Carlton, be calm.
How old is the little pregnant lady?
15 years.
No.
Yes, I'm telling you.
And Carlton, let me ask you, no, Carlton.
She's pregnant. A matter of
15 years and pregnant, that's statutory rape. That's a criminal offense. And I am shocked. Has anybody taken up the city case yet?
I have not learned of anything. I haven't heard anything.
No, this is crazy. A 15-year-old pregnant and nobody has really addressed that situation.
And living in that condition?
It's a criminal offense.
No water, no electricity?
No, but I'm saying that the powers that be should have looked at the situation a long time ago and should have dealt with it. This child is on the age. This is considered a statutory rape. This is a criminal offense. We have to talk to the people who are responsible for doing this.
Sandra, this is your show. Can I kindly ask your permission to play a song?
Definitely.
Master Control, could you play a song there for me?
We're gonna make you feel comfortable and cozy. Brown Sugar, you ready for me? Yeah. Give it up for the late Brown Sugar doing Guilty Parents. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. If I had the power to be prosecutor, judge or jury, and the authority to build a penitentiary, it would be my mission to protect the children from parents and guardians who exploit their innocence. By not raising the children in the way they should go, it's the one admonition I intend to follow. The Bible says, woe to anyone who leads the children astray. But for me, I won't wait until Judgment Day. When you dress up your little girls as bait for pedophiles, when you have your little boys sporting gangman style, when little girls start walking up and you cheer them on, I'll charge you with child abuse and send you to prison. It's a straight case of dereliction of duty by failing to raise your child with morality. Your actions retard your child wholesome development, and I find you guilty of child endangerment. Why, da, da, da. Parents, this song is for you. Da, 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 da. We know there's a problem of too many children getting children with no comprehension as to how to raise them. The very notion that it takes a village to raise a child has been abandoned as we see a growing tide of parents and guardians fighting teachers in school. Children see this rebellion and think it is cool. The very children that you don't even send to Sunday school, they watch you and learn that there is no golden rule. When you dress up your little girls as bait for pedophiles, when you have your little boys sporting gangman style, when little girls start walking up and you cheer them on, I'll charge you with child abuse and send you to prison. It's a straight case of dereliction of duty by failing to raise your child with morality. Your actions retard your child wholesome development, and I find you guilty of child endangerment. Bring the horn. Woy, ay, yoy, ay, yoy. The children are our future. Let's believe it. Children of today are the ones expected to lead tomorrow. So in every way, we must set good examples for them to follow. If they do not grow imbued with moral integrity, we reap just what we sow. Won't that be the irony? When we become old and feeble and dependent on them, don't be shocked if they treat you with utter contempt. If you are delinquent in teaching them the right scruples, they will surely dishonor you. When you dress up your little girls as bait for pedophiles, when you have your little boys sporting gangman style, when little girls start walking up and you cheer them on, I'll charge you with child abuse and send you to prison. It's a straight case of dereliction of duty by failing to raise your child with morality. Your actions retard your child wholesome development, and I find you guilty of child endangerment. Why,
You know, Japan, I don't know what kind of mood that I'm in right now. This is just, I've never really listened to that song. I think that she should enter every competition every year, sing the same song, and she should be crowned queen every time she enter the arena, because let me tell you, and that song should be played in school. It should be played in every business place. You know, you go in and you listen to your Indian income. That song should be there, because let me tell you something, it hurts me. All of the problems that we have in this world today, all of the areas that government has to spend most of its money is because of this is the biggest problem. I can't even find words to describe it. Really and truly, I feel like taking some time off and cry. You know, that kind of, it's amazing. We look at this from a distance, but this is an everyday thing, and it becomes a norm.
Amen.
We overlook these things, and these are the situation that creates most of the social issues, social problems that we have in our society, is because of the neglect. And it's not just parents. How can a big man, take up a young little girl, understanding the girl's situation and impregnate her, and you're telling me that and I'm not talking, and I'm gonna hide to say, people who government employs to do their work have overlooked a situation like this. I mean, who do we go to? Who cares? We ask the question. This is something that should have been, it should not have been a topic of discussion today. We should have been discussing what happened to the man who would have committed that kind of crime. It is a criminal offense. It is a criminal offense.
I want to add something to what you mentioned. Sandra, if you and I don't pick up things like this, who will?
No, but this is what I'm saying. I am so, right now, I tell you, it's one, I was looking forward to hosting this program, but I don't know if I have emotionally, if I am in a position to do so at this time, because somebody has to do something about it. How can you look at a person's situation? What kind of human being are you? You look at a person's situation, you understand it, and you add into it. I mean, what was he doing? How did he get, who has done this? Anybody have any idea who would have done it? Is the little girl saying anything? I want to see her today.
Today?
Today.
I'll take you to her. Two verses of scripture I want to read. It is found in Proverbs 22. The first one is verse 5. Train a boy in the way he should go, even when he grows old, he will not depart from it. Let's go across on the same page, on the other side of the page, to verse 15. Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a boy, but the rod of discipline will remove it far from him. This is the way I look at this family. The mother was not able to train those children the way they were supposed to be trained. And so, as a result, the children are suffering. What we need to do now? Become actively engaged in pursuing the person who did that job, who did that injustice to that young woman and shattering the family. Sandra, every time I face that young woman, she hang her head. I never touch her. But every time I stand off from her because I know what I'm doing. And that is why I ask you to come into play and lend some of your expertise, because I know my money, Tango Money, Waterman and others, our monies would not be wasted. Let's give them a chance to flow, to live, to enjoy all the amenities of life. But who should take up the case of this young lady? Because I am furious.
I am going to take up the case. I don't care. I mean,
I am furious.
At the end of the day, it should not have reached to this. Somebody should have been discussing this case. But you know what I know, what I understand? We look at certain people, you know, they fall to the shoots because the mother is poor. The conditions are deplorable. They have basically absolutely nothing to give to society or anybody else. And so they're left there. And people just totally ignore them because it's the norm. But all laws state that children under 16 they're not in a position to give consent. And anybody who would have had sex with them, it's considered a statutory rape. That is the job of the police.
But look what
somebody should, and it's not that somebody is saying she's having sex. She's pregnant. And I know she's not the Virgin Mary. And I know the Holy Ghost didn't overshadow her. And the fact that she's pregnant, somebody should have taken up that case a long time ago.
But look what frustrating me. People come in to me and say, but DuPont, from the first day I spoke to the mother, they were honest enough. All of them were honest enough to tell me that the young lady pregnant. The young lady herself told me she was pregnant.
But who's the person who did it?
I have no clue. I don't know the person. I have no clue, except to say that there are people coming to my store will call me aside and tell me, but he didn't rape her.
What?
Oh, no. Don't tell me no stupidness,
DuPont,
man.
I have an 18-year-old daughter. Let me tell you something.
Go
I
ahead.
would spend the rest of my life in prison. She's 18 years old.
Yes.
And I would spend the rest of my life in prison if somebody would coerce her into a person who have no good intentions and who would coerce her into having sex and get her pregnant. And she's 18 years old. So she can give consent. But she is not in a position to do so. She doesn't work. She's still in school. Who's going to look after the child? Me? That would become my responsibility. Who's going to look after her? Because when she's already pregnant, let me tell you something. A lot of time, a man, after they would have done that, they're on their way. That is a responsibility. Because when that man looked at the conditions of the child's parent, he knew he had no good intention.
That's the point.
Because he couldn't help.
That's the point.
And so if you can't help a situation, why are you adding to it?
You know what they're telling me? Total rubbish. And if and when he goes to prison, who will support the child? What deal is that? The child will be supported by us? But humans, other humans.
But let me
who
ask
love
you a question.
humans.
But let me ask you a question. If you and Tango didn't step in, where would that child would have gone?
Oh my Lord, Sanja, you said something just now I never even thought about. Honest from my heart.
Who would have bought clothes? Where would a child sleep in under those kind of conditions?
Can I say something to you before I forget?
Mm-hmm.
When I asked them to come to Basti and meet me last Monday, and I took them to a place called Caribana, I asked who is the manager. And I went into Caribana and they told me the gentleman over there is the manager. I went over, I explained the whole thing to him. He got up from the chair and put his hand on his hip. He said, okay, now, Mr. DuPont, this is what you're going to do. Go around in the entire store, take whatever you want, put them on this table, and I will give you 50% discount. When they start giving them the clothes, I'm telling the ladies around, look, give them 6 and 7 different outfits. Because when they move up to this new house, I don't want them to
Not even
go
a dress.
back to the clothes
Not
from that
even a
house.
dress from
I
that
told the mother, and if she doesn't follow through, I'll be angry. Do not carry anything up there. Brand new shoes, socks, underwear, everything. When I went to pay the man the half price, he gave me back some of the money still.
Wow.
The man looking at me and he said, look, his name is what? Let me see. Vinod.
Vinod.
Vinod. He told me, I like what you all are doing and I will take part. But look what strike me again. When I rang TDC and asked to speak to one of those big fellas in there, they gave me a gentleman by the name of Nick Menon.
Oh.
And as soon as I talked to him, in 2 minutes, he stopped me. He said, I know where you're going. TDC will be happy to help.
Nick Menon is godsend, trust me.
If
He
you
is
see
a
the
godsend.
discount TDC gave us, Ricardo, 25% across the board. Incredible. And Sanja, I am definitely serious. If you and I and others in this country are not paying attention to our youths, what kind of world we facing in St. Kitts in 15 years? We have to look after those children. And that gentleman who pregnant that woman, he should be in prison.
No, today.
Today. And I am asking and calling on the police. You see, when I wait to say it on your program, not on mine. And he continued this afternoon. What about that man? I don't care who he is.
She has this, but she knows who
Oh, I see. You do that kind of thing. Sandra, when we go down to Sandy Point today, I'm going to show you where they're living. Because they're not living in a house. They're living in a place.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. When I think of all the people, a lady working National Bank down there do the cleaning. She does the cleaning. When I saw her, who worked for a small salary, walked in the store and called me quietly and say, I'm feeling it for the condition of those people. This is $40. I knew it would have worked. Sandra, let me give you an experience that I've never seen in my life. There is a particular lady in St. Kitts. She's very rich. She went to the store to look for me because she doesn't do things like that because people will make a practice of it. And she brought an envelope with some money. Mahinja told her I'm not there. She stayed in the store a long time. She did not realize I'm coming in the store while she's going out. Because how would I know? I didn't know she's there.
And she doesn't know you.
Good. So someone outside said to her, well, miss, what are you doing here? I came to look for Mr. DuPont. He said to her, Mr. DuPont inside? She said no. But she didn't realize I was coming. She said, you see this envelope? She about 77 years. I listened to you last night, Saturday night, for 4 hours. And you moved me. This money is towards that house. The trust and the confidence that people build up in this Rastaman It's shocking.
And
Shocking.
Carlton, people just want to see somebody make that move. And at the end of the day, there are good people still there. But
Yes.
but there is a situation that has to be addressed. And I am shocked because, all of the problems that we're having in society, all of these social issues are because of the fact that these small little situations were not acted upon. Does she go to school?
I have no clue.
How can you have, and this is where the government has to put its foot down. You need that we need to go back to that time where you have those officers who are making sure that children who are supposed to be in school are in school. I'm asking for a job. It has to be free. I would volunteer the position to make sure that every child of school-bearing age should be in school at the time that they're supposed to be in school.
Yes.
Uniform, you can give a house, people can give uniforms.
Yes.
A hot meal is easy to provide for children. We don't have to depend on government to do all this, but government has to take the stance.
2 hours ago, Tango rang me. He said, "You heard the news?" I said, "No." He said, "I just heard the news on your station. A man in Jamaica got sentenced by a judge for getting a lady 15 years pregnant.
But
And when he come out of prison, for the next 9 years, he got to report to the police station every day."
and he can't work around children because this is the whole thing. You know what I've seen, Japan? Let me
Saint
tell you.
Kitts have those laws?
The laws are there.
Oh.
But you know what? I'm getting angry, and I didn't want to get angry. I know of school children who have gone to school.
Yes.
I know of a little girl who was such an intelligent girl. She had to go to St. Thomas, to Tortola. Now she's a manager of a bank in Tortola. She trusted her coach. He got her pregnant. She was not 16. And nobody did anything about it. The family had to get her out of here. She went to Tortola. Now she is, and I'm grateful because she was a great athlete, and she was a brilliant little girl. And those are situations that fall through the shoots. We see a lot and this is why we're having children, this gang situation, because according to Brown Sugar, children are raising children. The parents of today are children. And what happened? A lot of them who got pregnant 15 and 16, the laws are there to protect them. What are we doing? And the government has a right to say they have people who are getting a salary, but they're not doing their work.
Well, you heard about my situation with the road to my house, where I gone to Public Works to ask them to fix the road leading to some luxury units I have off the airport. Many other people live there, so it's not as if they're doing it for me. Sandra, look what happened to me. I gone to the guy in charge, tell him, well, since you told me a month ago and the machines will be fixed to do the road, I now come back because you look like you can't get the machines fixed yet. I am going to pay to do the road. Give me just the permission to take the old road that they scrape up to fix the road. Is the best thing to fix a road. Because when the heat hit
The asphalt is going to spread it.
Ah.
Yeah, it's going to melt it and spread
he
it.
told me he'll ring me back. I'm days now, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 days gone. He hasn't ring me. Look, the same day I went on the radio and pong it. In the night when I gone up the road fix. I wonder who fixed it. You told me you can't fix the road. I told you I'm going to fix the road and pay. So a lot of people working in government offices, the government need to give me a job. I wouldn't charge them to rectify those things.
I would do it voluntarily.
Oh, I
Trust
see.
me, it's sad.
Oh.
Because when you have situations like this and people are not paying attention, I listen, and that's why I don't listen a lot of these people who go on radio and talk, because they talk the good talk. They never walk the walk. We have too many situations happening here in St. Kitts right now that people are not paying attention to. I mean, young girls are being raped. Women are being abused.
I hate that.
We have situations. I look at a video and everybody has now become great photographers and videographers. Every time something happens, it comes out and it becomes entertainment on social media.
Ooh.
Somebody has to take a stand. Somebody has to put their foot down. Government has to start to look at the situation because these are the little problems that you ignore that becomes the big problems of tomorrow. These are where government has to spend most of their money. We have too many social issues that are going, nobody's looking at it, nobody's paying attention to it, and nobody is making a decision of what to do with it. But this situation has to stop. This little girl, whoever would have done it, I would ask you nicely, go and talk to the police, because the police is going to come and talk to you. It is not right, and we should not allow these things to happen. I tell you, the day I walk into the police station, just say that somebody would have touched my child, and I would have killed them, and I am serious, DuPont. If I could be arrested for my thoughts, then the police should come and do that now. I am not. I have a little girl that I would have adopted. She's 9 years old. And the day anybody make that mistake, by the time the authorities would have found you, or when anybody would have found you, they would have eaten themselves alive. And I'm serious about it. There are people who are prostituting themselves. If you want to do that, go and pay.
That's
Leave
right.
the little children alone.
Exactly.
They do not rob a child of their innocence. It's not right. And we are allowing it to happen too often. Why? Is it because the people who are supposed to be doing something about it, they are doing the same thing too? Is it that? Is it that the problem? That the people who we put in charge are the same people who are doing the same thing and they're afraid to do it because their conscience would not allow them to? Then put me in charge.
I wonder if these talk shows, because they always listen and play like they're not listening, all these hosts of these talk shows, I wonder if they're looking into this.
No.
Because, next shocking thing in this whole thing, there's a gentleman in St. Peter's by the name of Jason Liebert. When he heard of the situation, he got in touch with his sister. And between them, they gave us almost $12,000 worth of windows for the apartment. Where that is coming from? A woman involved, seeing the situation and the cameras showing the surroundings, say, no, let me make this sacrifice to build that. Sandra, before I leave your show though, I want people to get this clear. Neither Waterman, Tango, or myself, we are looking any extra praise for this.
No, I don't, please.
And
I
we
know
want
that.
people to get an example to follow.
And I'm glad that you took that step. You know what? I look at government building low-income houses. And when I look at the people, what they would have done with the low-income houses, government should not have given them. The low-income houses are for people like those who, and government should take, because these people who could afford, they take government houses, they put on turn them into mansions, they're renting them, and you have people who are living in these deplorable conditions, are still living in these conditions, and people who could afford. Government low-income houses are for people who have low income. And government has to take these things. It's not for political mileage. It's for people who just cannot afford it. They have been doing it for over the years. People are taking government low-income houses and they're renting it because they could afford it and they don't want to live there. I want a job. I want to work in that department too. And I'm going to work for free.
Sandra, I met a lady at a supermarket a couple nights ago. She got me angry because apparently she did not know I would have done my own investigation. How you doing, lady? Not good. I said, what happened? I lost my house. I made investigation. 5 years. She hasn't paid 1 cent to the bank for her house because it came to the government. They sold it.
I want that
bank
job.
sold the house.
I want that job.
5 years. But you're telling me that your house has been sold. Trent, don't laugh. I know you like laugh. My soul, my house gone. Gone where? 5 years? And Sandra, you know something bothering me? I wish I was a politician in government. I would lose the election from throwing out people out of houses. If you want a phone tomorrow, a poor man buys the phone. All the other amenities, you buy them. Don't pay TDC. Don't pay Hasford. Don't pay electricity department, but you want your electricity. Don't pay water department. You heard what they're doing in Jamaica? All who owe 2 and 3 years and never pay, it doesn't matter who they are, they cut them.
There's some people who really have situations. I know of a situation right now, and I'm appealing to the government. There's a girl by the name of Child. She's a big Labour supporter. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who your party you support.
Tell me
it's
about
the
her.
fact that government has given, she has a low-income house that she can't seem to pay for. I think she feels like she's going to be, she hasn't had a discussion with me, but over the years she has been telling me the same thing. She can't afford. She works for PEP. She works for STEP. She hustles. She braid hair. She does all the things that she tried to do. She have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children she would have had. People would have taken some of the children. She would have tried to raise her children. But this is a woman who raises her children not in the way that you think that she, but in the best way that she can. I mean, she has a young daughter who was molested. I don't know what happened to the case, but people can look at it and they can say, "Oh, she could have been." No, this is a child who doesn't have an education, and she said to you, her children who teaches her to read. But the government has given her a house, and I'm asking the government, please, Don't ask child for any more money. Write off a case. Give her a chance to go with a house. It matters not who she votes for or whatever she's doing. These are people who definitely need
So
it.
she is behind on the house.
She's behind on the house. But I'm saying that the government, this is not for you, Carlton. These are areas that the government has to look into and say that some people who genuinely cannot afford to pay. It's not a person who go down and style up herself and she jump on a bike and she ride a bike. Her children. I mean, the boys are young and they're fighting to get jobs. They're not as educated as they should have been. I mean, because it's not everybody has the ability academically to excel.
Amen.
And I think that is one of the things. Those are the things that you have to look at. But there's some people that government has to start to look in, situations and take these into consideration. And please help her. The children, they are big now. I mean, the daughter, I think she's 18 or 19. But they have grown in these kind of conditions. They were raised in these kind of conditions. So we don't expect anything from them in the society as people who you're going to look up to.
What about the argument if someone would say to you, those who are coming big should work and pay for it?
Like I said to you, these children, they're not academically inclined and they're not qualified. So the little jobs, because people have to realize that every time these children know how to find a way to live. Instead of living with their parents, where they're going to go? They're going to find themselves in a similar situation. These are the young boys you have to take out of the gang situation because the gang offers them $300 or how much ever dollars that they would not be able to see because the workplaces would not hire them because they're not qualified. And then when you look at the social problems that we're having, you look at the domino effect that it has. They come from homes like that, where parents had to hustle all the time, where children would see their mother in a bedroom sleeping and all kind of different men coming in. That is to pay the rent.
Oh, Lord,
that is to buy the uniform.
Yes.
That is to put food on the table.
Amen.
These are the things that we look at and we start to call them, but this is social injustice that is given to these people who never had a chance and nobody ever look into it and say, Lord, let us reach out. And that is why what you're doing right now, what Waterman has done and what Tango is doing, I mean, we can't laud you enough. We can't praise you enough. And it's not because you want attention, but at the end of the day, I want those other businesses. And like you see what Amri is doing, going around and feeding people. I mean, it's these are the people that I realize now that their heart has been touched and they're doing these things, these little things that go a long way. And people who could afford, come out to Amri line. There are people who just cannot afford. Let him feed those people. But there's some people who could afford and they're standing up in Amri line.
Really?
It's not right.
Oh, I wish I had seen that.
It's not right.
I didn't know.
And these are the things that happen in Carlton. And it's we don't have enough time because we're running out of time.
Oh, yes, I realize
And sometimes
that.
I wish, we had more time than this. But these are the areas that we have to start seriously looking into. Government has to start to look into. And I'm unemployed. I work for myself. But I am available to help voluntary work. Government, in areas that you have that people are not doing the work that they're being paid for, let me do it. One of the areas that I want to look at, those housing. I want to look at, see who they're giving these houses to. Stop doing it for political favors. Start giving the houses for who they really belong to. It matters not who the people are voting for. That is not the problem. We are trying to curtail social issues that we're going to have in the future. These are the things that we have to do now, and we have to take responsibility. And that young man who would have done that injustice to that little girl, I'm going to go to the police station. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to find out what the position is, whether or not anybody's investigating it. I'm going to, and I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can get Mrs. Blake on my next program. So anybody who could let her know, I'm trying to get her. My cell phone number is 668-2886. I would like her to call me because there are a lot of issues that are happening inside of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I don't know, she alone can help. Government has to start to look into creating an area or an environment where people can volunteer for these things. Government can't pay for everything.
No.
And so we can have, and a lot of us out there who have the time on our hand and who have the passion and the real interest in doing this, we can make ourselves available to volunteer to help in this situation. Women are being abused, Carlton. Children are being raped. And if my child is over 18 now, but let me tell you something, she's not up for raping, Because anybody rape my child, I'm sorry, they're going to have to kill me. And I'm dead serious. Because I'm going to find them. I don't want the police to do that. I am going to find them myself, Carlton. And when I find them, I would be one of the most notorious killers. They would not even be able to sentence me for life because that would not be enough for me. People has to stop these things. If you want to rape, if you want to have sex, pay for it then, if that is the case. Women are out there looking for decent men. Become a decent man yourself and make yourself available.
Praise the
Stop
Lord.
doing this. Young girls cannot be robbed of their innocence. The people don't understand the issues, the mental problems that they're creating.
Do you see the poverty have them where they are?
Poverty, there's some people can do better though. My statement is not for everybody. There's some people who can do better.
Yes.
But I find that people in St. Kitts and Nevis, we become people who are waiting for handouts. We are waiting for people to give us things. We are not proactive enough. We're very reactive, and government is creating that environment because they do these things because they're looking for votes.
Oh.
And so when it's coming around election time, everybody go and give this and pay for a vote, and it becomes a norm now. But that is another topic that we have to discuss in another program. Carlton, it was a pleasure having you here. I would have infringed on somebody's time. I don't like that when people infringe on my time. But you know that it's something. It is something that we have to look into. And like I say, it's not about looking at the nice house that the people are gonna get, but we have a situation where the daughter is pregnant and there's nothing that they can do about it. Why isn't she in school? I'm gonna ask the question: are the other children in school then? How many more children do she has? How much more children she has?
Two more.
How old are they?
Well, 3 more. One bigger, about 18, and another little girl is 10, and the young boy is 6.
Another 10-year-old little girl.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on the 10-year-old.
We
will work and help her in a way.
We have to fix this.
Yes.
We have to definitely fix this. I want to thank you
Yes.
on behalf of the family who's going to receive the house, and then on behalf of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, who would have had that less of a responsibility to take on, and on behalf of the whole entire community of Sandy Point, who I suppose who have been looking at it and wish they could have done something, and know that you would have done something about it, and on behalf of every citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, for people like you who would have taken that time out and made that gesture that people have been looking for the longest time. And I do hope that people who can afford, remember that your business was built on these poor people's money, and I ask that you'll be able to give back some. You
Yes.
can't take all.
Amen.
So if you can just give back a little bit and add one, I'm not asking one person to do it. Do like what DuPont and Tango and Waterman did. Come together as a group and try to, because don't expect that they're going to do it for everybody, but identify a situation in your community that these people genuinely need help and can't help themselves, and see how we can come together as a people. And like you said earlier, this was the intention of our Creator, that we were supposed to live together as one. Everybody's supposed to be their brother's keeper. And let us try to see how we can make St. Kitts different
Yes.
to all the other Caribbean islands, where everybody in St. Kitts work together to build not just a community or a village, but to build a country and a whole. And let St. Kitts be a country where everybody, we don't want anybody else to come, but everybody can stay afar off and look and say, I wish I had the opportunity to be there. I wish I was a Kittitian. And Kittitians, wherever you are in the diaspora, people look at you and say, you're from the country that people are talking about. This is what we want to happen in St. Kitts and Nevis. And we can do this. We can do this. We got this, Japan. We got this. We're going to do this. For those of you who are in tune to Win FM 98.9 and would have listened to your views, I appreciate the fact that you would have spent an hour of your time and listened to what we've said. But don't look at it as just we have time to waste and we have a topic that we want to discuss. It's the reality. And we are appealing to people who have information about the situation that I'm about to deal with just now, come forward. And I'm asking the police and the people who are who are supposed to be looking after welfare, who are supposed to be looking after these children who would have neglected your duties, I ask that you start to look at how we are going to fix this and to avoid it happening again in the future. Men out there, I want to tell you, women are not as weak as you think. We are not your praise. If you want to have sex, pay for it. If you don't find it within yourself to find a woman and want that responsibility, I am not encouraging prostitution. I cannot stop it because it's happening. If you want to have sex, pay for it. People's children is not there to satisfy your sick mind. And this is why people like me, who have vigilante in my blood, I'm going to make sure that people who would have done these things, they're brought to justice. The police have to do their job. And I say it again. Is it because they're afraid to address it because some of them are doing the same thing? We'll leave that for another discussion. Voices is up next. It's a beautiful Friday. I do hope that you enjoy the rest of the day. I have to work on my mood. Right now, my emotions are all over the place. But I know at the end of the day, I would just think about the good things that we have some good people here, and we know that together we can make it's a place where everybody would want to come. Enjoy the rest of the Friday. It's weekend, but Corona is real. Make sure you wear your mask. Social distancing is a must. Hygiene, personal hygiene. It's not somebody shouldn't have to tell you have to wash your hands and make sure that you practice that, because COVID is a reality. We don't know where it come from. We don't know what it is or the intention of it, but it is here. And take care and make sure that you do the things that you're supposed to do, and so that we can keep COVID-19 at bay.